Good morning YouTube. It is Wednesday the 26th of November and I'm here to show you again how to use the tachograph machine. I did a video about this before but I was very early on in my career. I think I was something like 1 month into the job, so I only knew the basics then. So today I'm going to show you in detail how to use the tachograph machine, how to do manual entries, and I'm also going to show you the two different types of tachograph machines that I've come across since I've been driving. So let's get started. First is the card. Now the card goes into the machine with either, you can remember it, your thumb goes on your face like that, or you can just remember that the chip goes facing upwards closest to the machine, if that makes sense, this way. So let's see. So let's put the card in then. In the slot like this. Slot number 1. Of course there's 2 slots here, and this is your paper, which we'll talk about later, but I've just put my card in slot 1 and I'm going to push the drawer closed. You can see it's saying welcome me, and it's telling me when I last withdrew the card. It's asking me now, have I rested until now? Now the current time, let me just put my ignition on. The current time is 6:12. I haven't been resting until now, so I need to do a manual entry. So on this type of tachograph, I'm going to click no, I haven't been resting until now, because I've been doing my daily check and so on. Add manual entries, yes. Now it's going to ask me, well, it's telling me that I ended my shift yesterday at 4 o'clock, which I did. So I also ended it in the United Kingdom. Now it's going to ask me, what have I been doing from 4 o'clock until now? So I have some options here. I have availability, I have other work, I have now I begin my shift since 4 o'clock, or I have rest, or I have unknown. So from 4 o'clock I've been resting, so I'm going to click OK. Now it's going to ask me how long have I been resting until? Well, I was resting until I started my shift this morning, which was at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to put 6 o'clock there. So this means I was resting from 4 o'clock yesterday till 6 o'clock this morning. I'm going to click OK. Now it's asking me, what have I been doing from 6 o'clock this morning until now, because it's 6:13. So from 6 o'clock in the morning until now, I can click on begin shift, or I have some options: resting, unknown, period of availability, other work. You know, I have different options. I'm going to click on begin shift, which basically is the same as other work. Which country am I beginning in? United Kingdom. And it's asking me from 6 o'clock, what have I been doing? Other work. So I click OK. Yeah, other work from 6 until now. If I want to print out the entries, I can click yes or no. Confirm, yes, everything is correct so far, so I click yes. Now I'm ready to drive. So there's a few screens on the tachograph machine to be aware of. First thing that we have to do is ignore the bottom one here, the bottom row, which says 2, because that's for the other card, and there isn't one in the machine at the moment because there's just me in here driving. So the reason I have lines on here is because it hasn't been 1 minute yet. So when it's been 1 minute, they're going to show that I've been on other work. Well, it's going to show 14 minutes because I started at 6 o'clock when I put the manual entry in. So tachograph's just woken up and processed the information. If I'd have just put the tachograph in and said rest until now, yes, and just gone straight away with no manual entry, you just have to wait for 1 minute just for these lines to register 1 minute, and then it shows there 1 minute. Anyway, so I have some things on here. It tells me the current time, which is 6:15, and it also tells me I've been on other work now for 15 minutes and that I'm requiring 45 minutes of my break. So in the first 4.5 hours, you can take your breaks as a 15-minute break and a 30-minute break. It's showing me that I haven't had neither, or you can of course take a whole 45 minutes in that first 4.5 hours driving time. It's telling me here I haven't had any, so I need a 45-minute break to reset my 4.5 hours driving time. Hopefully that makes sense. If you click the down arrow, it tells you the mileage of the vehicle and the speed at the top. And this is my screen that I see when I'm driving around. So it's telling me that I have 4 hours and 30 minutes driving time left, and I need a 45-minute break to reset that at the moment. So, and back to my main screen, which shows me now I've been on other work for 16 minutes. So a bit later on in the day, I'm going to catch up with you so you can see how this screen changes through the day and through how much time I've been driving. Catch up with you later. So I have reached my destination in North Wales. So let's have a look at what the tachograph says. So I now, just wait this up, I now have 2 hours and 44 minutes driving time remaining before I'll need a 45-minute break. But since the camera was last on, I have put my tachograph on brake mode for me. I did it just by pressing the number 1, just the number of the card that you want to change. That's all you press to change the mode. So I just pressed number 1 once and it changed it to brake mode here. So we can see so far I've had 8 minutes break and I've had 8 minutes towards resetting my driving time. Again, we're just ignoring row number 2. We can also see on here, this is my break counting down. I have 37 minutes left of my break before it resets my 4.5 hours driving time. Remember, you can take a 15-minute and a 30-minute break, which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm waiting for this number. It started at 45 minutes when I changed it to break. I'm waiting for this number to get to 30, or whichever screen's easy for you, this number to get to 15 to make my 15 minutes. It will say 15 here and it will say 30 here, because 45 minutes count down to 30 is 15 minutes, isn't it? So that's what we're waiting for at the moment. That's my 15-minute break done. Let's have a look at what the tachograph looks like now. So over here on the tachograph, we can see that I've now been on other work for 10 minutes, because as soon as my number for my break, as soon as this number reached 30, as soon as this number reached 30, I turned it back to other work. Now, of course, you do have to press the number 1 button to change the mode, to turn it back to other work yourself, because the tachograph doesn't know when you're on break and when you're on other work. It just knows when you're driving. For this kind of thing. So I turned it back to other work, and now you can see I have 10 minutes other work. So the guy here has just been unloading me and I've just been sorting out the straps and the curtains. And now you can see here I have 15 minutes break completed already towards resetting my driving time. So now I just need another 30 minutes at some point before my 4.5 hours driving time are up. Now we know I have 2 hours and 44 minutes driving time left, and I need a 30 to reset that back to 4.5 hours. That's what it's telling me, and it's the same here. It's telling me I still need 30 minutes to reset this driving time back to 4.5 hours. So let's keep going and check up what's going on later. So I am now pulled over in a safe place, ready for my 30-minute break. Let's see how we actually put the tachograph on brake. Let me show you properly. So here's the tachograph then, been on other work for 6 minutes. And I'm going to put it on brake now, so I'm just going to press the number 1. And I have my options here of which mode to put it on. Of course, I want to put it on brake, so that's the bed symbol. Now we're going to see this screen. Because I already took 15 earlier, this number would have been 45. It's 30 now because I took 15 minutes earlier. Now when this counts down to 0, I will be reset back to 4 hours 30 driving time. You can see so far I've had no break at the moment because it hasn't been a minute yet, but I had 15 earlier. That's what this is showing me here. And also it's showing me here I have 2 hours 41 minutes driving time left, and I'm requiring a 30-minute break to reset that. So when this number gets to 0, this number will reset back to 4 hours and 30 minutes. So that's how you do it. I just wanted to say that you, in this style tachograph machine, you don't have to change the tachograph back to driving mode when you start to move. The tachograph machine already knows when you're driving, so it will automatically change the mode to driving mode. And when you stop, for example, if you stop at the traffic lights or if you park up somewhere, it will automatically change it to other work on this tachograph machine in this lorry. It's just worthwhile checking in the lorry that you're in when you stop and you're ready for other work or whatever. Just check what mode it's on before you do anything else. It's worth just knowing your own vehicle so you don't make a mistake. For example, in some lorries it may automatically default to brake when you stop instead of other work, so it's just worth checking the vehicle you're in so you don't make a mistake. Okay, so my break time is over. Let's have a look at the tachograph. So we can see now that my break time here, it said 30 earlier on, it now says 0. So let's just have a look around at what we've got. So I can see I've been on break for 31 minutes, and so far today I've had 46 minutes break in this 4.5 hour driving time window, if that makes sense. So if I go to my screen here, my driving time is now reset to 4 hours and 30 minutes, and I need a 45-minute break to reset that again if I needed to. So we can see again my break here is now on 0. Yeah, so now I want to change it back to other work, so I'm going to do that by pressing the number 1 mode here. I'm going to put it on other work. Job done. Now we're starting from 0, and I have 0 other work, and my driving time is reset to 4 hours and 30 minutes. So let's make a move. I'm a little further on in the day, so let's have a look at the tachograph. We can see on the tachograph then, I'm requiring 45 minutes to reset my driving time at this moment, and I have 2 hours and 31 minutes left, and I'm requiring that 45 to reset that if I needed it. We can see I've been on other work now for 13 minutes, and the current time 12:04. So there we go. There's also a variety of options you could do with this tachograph. If you press the OK button, these are your options. So you can do a print, or you can access the settings, like setting up your time settings and things like that. Yeah, and obviously this is your back button. If you wanted to print, you just press OK, and then you can choose whether you want to print 24 hours on your card, 24 hours on your vehicle, events and so on. You just choose the one you want, and then usually it's the 24-hour card. You just press OK, choose the day you want to print. Today, obviously I want it to print, not show me on the display, and then it's going to print it for me. Like that. Then I have my printout here. While we're at it, I might as well show you how you replace the paper. For this tachograph, you just push the top and then you can pull it out, and this is how you fit your paper in. It has to feed under here like this, and then it prints on this part here. Oop. Prints on that side. Well, that's how you do it, like that. And you just push it back in. You must make sure that you are carrying enough tachograph paper to do some printouts if VOSA pulled you over and they asked you to do printouts. It's your responsibility as the driver to make sure you have enough paper for that, so always carry some spare ones with you. Okay then, so that's the day's work done. let's see what the tachograph looks like and how we take the card out. So let's see then on the tachograph. We can see here I have 1 hour and 11 minutes of driving time left, and I'm still requiring that 45-minute break to reset my driving time back to 4.5 hours if I needed it. Obviously I don't because I've finished now, but we can see I've been on other work now for 8 minutes. I've had no breaks towards resetting my driving time because I didn't need any. And I'm still requiring 45-minute break to reset that 4.5 hours driving time, as we said before. So there you go. To eject the card, some tachographs require you to be on brake before you eject it. This one you don't need to, so you just hold the number 1 down here, and then it's going to ask me which country I'm ending in. Obviously it's the UK the same, so just press OK. And then it will eject my card. Now let's go over to the depot and find a lorry with a different kind of tachograph in there so I can show you how they work too. Okay, so I'm at the yard in another lorry with a different kind of tachograph. So the rule is the same, either your thumb on your face or the chip facing upwards and away from you. Again, we've got 2 slots here, one for driver 1, one for driver 2. Put my card in. It's going to say welcome, then my name, and it tells me when I last withdrew the card, which we just saw on the other tachograph. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to add a manual entry? Now I'm going to show you how you do it. You just press OK. And now it's going to ask me, what was I doing between this time and now? So here's my choice. I can use my up and down arrows here to select what I was doing. I'm going to select other work, and I just click OK, and I tell the time that I was doing this for. Let's just say, for example, I did other work until 20 past. If I click OK, now it's going to ask me, well, what did I do from 20 past until now? So I'm going to leave it on brake, and I'm just going to click OK. Confirm, yes, and I'm beginning in the UK. Now I'm ready to drive. We can see this tachograph is similar to the other one. We can see the mode I'm currently on is other work. Here we've got the kilometres, how many miles the lorry has, or kilometres. But this type of tachograph is a bit slow. Before you can do anything else, you have to wait a while. So we can see here on this screen, I've driven for 3 hours and 19 minutes. I've had no breaks towards resetting the driving time. And I've been on other work for 2 minutes. Well, my phone died when I was filming that, but everything else on that tachograph machine works exactly the same as the other one. But yeah, it just works the same way. And the only differences are your analog ones, because it's an actual disc instead of a card. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, you can give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to stick with me and my adventures, then you can subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video.